activate Erebos to start things off. Down to 21, he's going to go. A Duress to clear the way. That's not a bad draw. Take a look, especially after Seth just drew 3 cards. He has a Dissolve at the forefront.
Yeah,
he wants to protect the grip. So there's the Dissolve. Time to scry.
Yeah, plus that's one of those spots where he's about to be able to cherry pick the best card out of my hand. By casting Dissolve, you take away the choice. You know, you basically make him have to duress the Dissolve.
Another activation of Erebos here. Going to draw a card. Play a Mutavault. That's pretty good.
That's not bad. That's 2 points of damage. Those pack rats.
Attack for 6. Manfield's going to go down to 11.
And overall, pretty good turn for Steve Rubin. I mean, he's still trying to, like, claw his way back in. He's trying to catch up with Jace and Sphinx's Revelation and Jace's Ingenuity. And that's tough. It can be tricky, especially when Steve has these 2 pack rats, and Seth is at kind of a low life total. It's like, you know, how far do we go to try and, like, you know, finish Seth off with these pack rats? Are we trying to activate Erebos? Is his hand light on answers? Can we actually do this, or do we have to play a longer game?
The verdict is in. 2 pack rats are going to go away. You see Seth left up 2 Mutavaults here. Going to play a pack rat to start things off, see if this resolves. Start this kind of sub-game again. Looks like he's also trying to find the right spot to try to resolve underworld connections. And there's a Dissolve. Now, we have seen Seth actually dissolve pack rat before in the last game.
Yeah.
He's been pretty aggressive about countering that spell.
I don't think he's super aggressive so much about countering pack rat, but just about using his mana every turn. Like, every 2 or 3 turns, he kind of just refuels his entire hand. But in the meantime, he wants to be casting those spells, trading 1 for 1. And I feel like he's not valuing the counter spells super highly just because they're not very good against, like, discard spells and the 2 negates that Steve has after sideboard. So I don't know, like, some people are just like, well, I have to save this counter spell for his best spell, whereas Seth is just like, no, I just want to trade 1 for 1. I don't really care how.
Yeah, just counter something.
Yeah.
The draw here for Steve is a big one. He played Connections, and now he gets the Thought Seize.
That alongside Mutavault. But yeah, I do feel like Seth could very easily win with a few Alpha Strikes, but at least that gives Steve turns to draw into something. Whereas the Revelation just kind of closes the door.
The Rev goes bye-bye. Let's see what Seth wants to do now. Do we know 2 Elspeths and Azorius Charm and now a mystery card? He can also chip away with a Mutavault hit this turn.
Yeah.
6 mana.
And that's pretty good. I mean, you don't have to bluff any counterspell at this point. Steve has just seen your hand. It's not very useful. Getting in that 2 points of damage is going to matter against Erebos and Underworld Connections.
And he's definitely he's gonna chip him. So Rubin's gonna go down to 14. And the group right now is 2 downfalls for Steve. Mystery card coming. Azorius Guildgate was a land played for the turn by Seth. So now Rubin's gonna go down to 13. Draw a card. There's Lifebane. Steve knows the 2 cards.
Yeah.
Elspeth and Azorius Charm.
Elspeth is white. There's a creature-looking thing on it. Why can't I take it?
I'm trying to think if there's a word where we don't downfall here. Ooh, Sideways.
Yeah, I mean, if Steve knows that his Erebos is good for a block, but he's not able to block and kill something with it, maybe it's worth it to attack. Just, like, attack the Elspeth and then force Seth to chump, and then he loses a creature this turn.
Okay, I can see it. I can see it. There's a Swamp. This is a downfall. I'm actually kind of in favor of the Erebos attack there.
Yeah, me too.
Actually now. Because if he attacks Elspeth, it lets him save a downfall.
Right.
Because, like, Seth is going to block.
Yeah.
There's almost no reason not to. And then that saves 1 damage coming back the other way.
Yeah, so either way, you're preventing a point of damage whether you attack or block. And if you attack, you almost certainly kill a 1/1. Mm-hmm. Which, you know, in the grand scheme of things, not that big of a deal. But over the course of the next few turns, where it does look like Seth is going to have to make some Alpha Strikes with a bunch of Soldiers and Mutavaults, plus you're trying to draw cards with Connections to keep up with what's going on, like, that 1 point of damage could be big.
I put Erebos in front of a token. What probably happens is my my something gets Azorius Charmed. Like, he's Azorius Charming this turn no matter what.
Yeah.
And so are you more comfortable casting, like, that 4-mana spell next turn or the 3-mana spell?
I suggest the 3-mana spell.
That's what I think, too.
Yeah. Plus, you get an extra block out of the deal.
Yeah. No, Elspeth's going to come down. It's going to take up.
It is possible that Steve is on a different plan than us. Maybe he wants this Lightbane Zombie to attack. I mean, it does have Intimidate. I'm not sure if that's where the game actually is, but depending on how many Gray Merchants he left in his deck, like, he could very easily just, like, attack Seth through this Elspeth.
You can't like, do anything about them. Like,
yeah.
Rev or whatever, you know, Aetherling, like, whatever. I can't beat that stuff. That stuff doesn't matter.
Yeah, so I think Steve right now is trying to decide, okay, am I able to stabilize here and actually try and play that game? Or is this Lightbane Zombie going to come at my opponent and I just have to find a Gray Merchant and finish him off?
Yeah, this is like the ultimate plane to win, I think, right now.
Yeah.
If he's attacking, this is the ultimate, like, I have to try to win. Yeah, he's going to downfall this. 3, 6,
so he has
7,
Erebos to block a Mutavault.
Yep.
Takes 6 from Soldiers, 2 from Mutavault. That puts him to 1 life, assuming Seth has nothing.
Yep. I think that Rubin made it, you know, the line that he's taking right now plays to win the game, like over 2 turns.
Yeah, and honestly,
instead of playing not to lose.
And honestly, that's probably why he didn't attack with the Erebos, because he wanted to block with it and get that charmed and not the Lightbane Zombie. He needed the Lightbane Zombie to attack and actually deal damage. So, given that that's what his plan is over these last couple turns, like, he has sculpted this game beautifully.
I mean, even if he doesn't peel the Gray Merchant, at least he's come up with a plan.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's all you can ask for.
It's a plan to win and not a plan to not lose.
That's 6 mana. What are you?
I feel like it's Aetherling or Rev. Rev, try and draw something.
2, 3. Doesn't gain any life. Now, he does have the ability to activate, again, the 2 Mutavaults and get in there, but that taps him out for the turn. He goes to 1, then he died on the counterattack from Erebos and Lightbane Zombie.
Yeah.
So that's
and Mutavault if he wanted to.
Yeah, that's clearly off the table. Now, this is a D-Sphere.
I like this. I think this is where Seth wants to be. Revelation, drawn to an answer. If you remove the Lightbane Zombie, Erebos is off, so you can get in some hits with some Soldiers this turn. There's definitely a lot of options for this Detention Sphere, though.
6. Rubin's down to 3.
Okay, so then attack for 5 with Lightbane and Mutavault. Any Gray Merchant off the top is going to do it.
And he gets a connected activation out of it, too. This is the turn. Steve's going to draw. It is a negate.
That's not bad. I'm not sure if it helps, considering the game is probably ending on Seth's next attack step.
This is that?
I think that's a Gray Merchant.
Is that a Gray Merchant? That is, oh!
Steve Rubin!
Star City Games Standard Open champion with the top deck Gray Merchant of Asphodel on the last turn of the game.
3 turns in the making. Like, he very easily could have played that game in such a way that the drawing of Gray Merchant, like what he was playing for, just, you know, gained him some life, prevented the inevitable. Instead, he set it up in such a way that it just won him the game outright.